Our devotional thought from the Old Testament today begins in Exodus chapter 14. Now let me set the stage for you. The people of Israel have plundered Egypt. They've left Egypt and they are standing alongside the sea. And all of a sudden, from behind them comes Pharaoh with his greatest warriors and all of his chariots. Beginning with verse 10, Exodus 14. As Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked. When they saw the Egyptians overtaking them, they cried out to the Lord. And they said to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in the desert? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt? We said, 'Leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It's better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness.'" But Moses told the people, "Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm." Now, this is a tremendous leadership principle that all of us at some point or another in our life will have to use. Leadership within our families, leadership within our businesses, leadership within the church, leadership within our connect groups. There are times people are afraid. And when they're afraid, they're angry and they always blame leadership. Now look at what they said to Moses. "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you that this would happen to us when we were in Egypt? Leave us. We told you to leave us alone." Now, brothers and sisters, Moses didn't fight with these people and Moses didn't get angry with these people. Sometimes I think we forget that God said Moses was the most humble man in all the earth in that day. Moses didn't get mad and fight with these people. He just understood them. And he looked at them and said, "Don't be afraid." See, sometimes as a leader, you can't listen to people's words. You have to listen to their hearts. How many times have you heard me teach you? Jesus did not answer the words of people. Jesus answered the hearts of people. There were people who walked up, and if you just read the words, they said very beautiful things to Jesus, and he took their heads off. And there are other people that said harsh things, and Jesus was just so accommodating. Jesus didn't answer their words. He answered their hearts. And sometimes when people are afraid, you know what? Stuff comes out that probably shouldn't come out. So Moses didn't get angry at the people. Moms and dads, don't get angry at your children when they're afraid. Connect group leaders, don't get angry at your connect group members. Fellowship executives, don't get angry. Young pastors, don't get angry at the people when they're afraid. Just recognize these are words of fear. They're not words of hostility. They're not words of rebellion. They're words of fear. So what do we do as a leader? Well, we recognize the people are afraid, and then look at what Moses did. He said, "Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today." He points them right to Jesus. He doesn't argue, "It's not my fault, He doesn't get into a debate with them. He just points them to God. Points them to God and says, "God will fight for you. Just stay calm." So he calms them down, but he points them to God. As leaders, don't get in debates and fights with people when they're full of fear in their hearts. Just point them to God and calm them down.